And I wanted to also talk about how sometimes an exchange becomes unavoidable. And if that exchange is unfavorable for you, it can be really a pain. So, anyone know the name of this opening? It's a little bit obscure. Any suggestions? It's not modern, although it looks like a mirror image of the modern. This is not really Queen's Indian Defense. It's a Queen Indian formation when you put a fianchetto on the queen side, but it's not the Queen's Indian Defense. This is called Owens Defense. I don't know who Owen was, but he's got a defense named after him. Hey, MC put a very nice and interesting comment. They said thank you for the teaching because they were able to win their first game of chess this way. Awesome. Welcome, Lord Gherkins. And thanks for the follow. Royale cheese. Absolutely. So, this is Owen's defense. And after bishop b7, we have a choice. We have to defend the e4 square. So, what would you guys choose to defend the e4 pawn? What do you guys think is the best way? Chess Engine user, I do sometimes play the viewers, but recently I haven't really been interested in that so much. So Obama might change his experience has been that bishop d3 is good. Lots of people are suggesting pawn a2. Very nice. So bishop d3 is definitely the best move. And there's a well-known game from, well, maybe not well-known, but a very good game played by Greco sometime in the early 1600s that continued with f5. It was a miniature, so I'll just show you guys. And after pawn takes, probably black thought they were winning material with bishop takes g2. But it turns out that material is not the only thing that decides the game. There's also king safety and piece activity, and white played very actively, and black's king became very unsafe. And they tried a clever trick, but nevertheless lost the game in 2 moves. So this was a cool game that was recorded by Greco sometime in the early 1600s. But of course, that's not exactly like theory, right? People don't play f5. It's not so good. So in this position, there's also knight c3. Yeah, it's bad, but the game was interesting, so I thought I'd show you. So knight c3 is another option. And obviously they're not going to go in for f5. Yeah, I also have a pretty low opinion of the Dutch. I recently played a match with someone in the Dutch, and I won 4-1. It was pretty good for me. But anyway, so what do you guys think black should do after knight c3? Neglect the center some more? Yeah, great. Yeah, e6 definitely makes sense. And I think this is really the best move. I think probably what's going to happen next is nearly unavoidable, so let's just skip this and show that knight f3 is a very common move for white. c5 is also interesting, but after bishop b4, white is in an unpleasant situation in which black is going to get a favorable exchange. So what do you guys think? What's the threat here? Simple threat. Bishop c3 followed by what? So the trade itself is not the threat. The trade is just a means to an end. Yeah, and then bishop e4. In fact, we can play bishop e4 in 1 move. So that's pretty cool. And this threat is actually really annoying. We can play bishop d3. Obviously, if we try to settle the issue, it just makes it worse because we get doubled pawns and a pawn less. So we don't like that. So bishop d3. But then knight f6, the pressure just keeps coming on e4. Notice how black is not capturing on c3 quite yet. So queen e2 supports the e-pawn. But then after d5, there's no way that we can support e4 anymore. We could play some awkward moves like knight g5 and knight d2, but it's counter-effective. Chess Engine user is asking, am I participating in National Open in June? Well, I don't think that I'm going to be able to fly by June with the situation in the country right now. I was planning to play National Open, however. Alright, so in this position, if we castle, is it really okay? Let's see, we castle. I guess this is another interesting move, but it kind of reveals the point that as soon as the tension is gone with the pin, they're going to take on c3 and then take on e4, and here we can actually win a piece in multiple ways. Probably this is the most interesting way. But if you don't castle and you play a move like pawn takes d5 to try to relieve the tension, after queen takes d5, castling, bishop c3, pawn c3, black just has a really nice position. Even though they lost the bishop pair, white has a worse pawn structure and the black pieces are more active. Probably they actually have to castle right away, however. Just a little note. So Chess Engine users asking, never played World Open.